Look at a blank wall right now, or the sky, or your phone screen with nothing on it. See that? That little squiggly blob drifting across your vision like it owns the place? You did not imagine that. You have had a tiny, gelatinous houseguest living inside your eyeball this entire time, and it has never once paid rent. Scientists call them floaters. You probably call them those weird worm things. Or, oh no, is that a bug? Relax. It is not a bug. It is something stranger. It is a piece of your own eye, drifting through a substance you did not even know existed. That substance is called the vitreous humor. It fills almost the entire back chamber of your eyeball, a clear, jelly-like gel holding your eye's shape from the inside, like the world's smallest, most overachieving water balloon. When you are young, that gel is smooth, uniform, boring in the best possible way. But your eyes age right along with the rest of you. And somewhere in your 20s or 30s, the vitreous starts to change. It begins to liquefy in places while clumping in others. Tiny strands of collagen, the same protein in your skin, tangle together into little floating knots. Here is the part that should make you slightly suspicious of your own anatomy. You're not actually seeing the floater itself. You're seeing its shadow. Light enters your eye and passes through the vitreous on its way to the retina, the light-sensing layer at the back. When it hits one of these tiny clumps, it casts a small shadow onto the retina, and your brain interprets that shadow as a shape drifting in your field of vision. You are, quite literally, watching a shadow puppet show happening inside your own skull, and you're both the audience and the screen. Try to look directly at one. Go on. You cannot. The moment your eye moves to focus on it, the fluid shifts and the floater drifts again, always staying just out of reach, like it is teasing you. This is not a glitch. It is physics. The floater is suspended in gel, and gel sloshes when you move. You will never win this game. Nobody does. Floaters are far more common than most people realize. A survey conducted using a smartphone application and reported by researchers at the VMR Institute found that roughly 3 out of every 4 people report seeing floaters at some point. People who are nearsighted are over 3 times more likely to report floaters that actually bother them, possibly because a longer eyeball gives that gel more room to misbehave. This is not a new mystery either. As far back as 1848, a researcher named Sir William Bowman used early microscopy to study the strange fibers inside the vitreous, describing a structure that seemed almost woven, fibrous, deliberate. People have been staring at their own floaters and wondering what on earth was going on for well over a century. More recently, scientists have started asking whether floaters are simply something you have to live with, or something you can actually treat. A clinical trial called the Fly Study, led by researcher Emmanuel Ankama in collaboration with the Nutrition Research Centre Ireland, tested whether targeted nutrition could reduce floater symptoms. After 6 months of a specific antioxidant formula, participants reported real improvement, suggesting that this ancient universal annoyance might not be entirely beyond your control after all. So why do floaters seem to show up the most against a bright sky, a white wall, or a blank document? Contrast. A floater's shadow is faint, subtle, easy to lose against a busy, detailed background. But put a uniform, bright field behind it, and suddenly that faint shadow stands out like a typo on a clean page. You are not seeing more floaters when you stare at the sky. You are simply finally giving them a stage. Here is the strangest twist of all. Floaters are almost always completely harmless. Your brain, brilliant as it is at filtering out irrelevant information, eventually learns to ignore them, the same way it ignores the shadow of your own nose sitting at the edge of your vision right now. Once your brain decides something is unimportant, it edits it out of your conscious experience entirely, even though it never technically goes away. Which means somewhere in your eye right now, a tiny clump of ancient collagen protein is calmly drifting through gel, casting a microscopic shadow onto the most sophisticated camera in the known universe. And your brain has simply decided not to tell you about it anymore. So the next time you glance at a blank wall and catch one drifting by, you are not seeing a glitch. You are catching a glimpse of something that has been there the entire time, quietly floating, patiently ignored. A small reminder that your own body is stranger and a little more alive than you usually give it credit for. Look at that wall again. There it is. It never left.